The movie follows Nedi, and who used to be a gangster. He once fought a group of thugs on the rooftop of a building and easily defeated them, even though he was alone. Despite being outnumbered, Nedi's past as a seasoned gangster allowed him to overpower the thugs effortlessly. 7 years have passed since the incident, and now, Nedi's left the gang world behind and started a new life after graduating from a teacher's college. While searching for a place to live, he stumbles upon a suitable apartment. During a conversation with the landlord, Dae-ji learns that the apartment was the site of a horrific tragedy. Despite this, he decides to stay there temporarily due to the low rent until he finds a stable job with a higher income. The story then shifts to Kango High School, where Mr. Park, the physical education teacher, endures bullying from the students. Unable to take it any longer, Mr. Park decides to resign. The school principal issues a stern warning: any student caught fighting or bullying a teacher will be expelled. However, finding a replacement teacher for Mr. Park proves difficult due to the school's bad reputation. The principal then requested that a new teacher be found to replace Mr. Park at the school, but this task proved challenging due to the poor reputation of Kango High School. One of the teachers, Mr. Gun, contacted Dae-ji, a former student of his who had just graduated from teacher's college, and offered him the position as a substitute teacher. Since Dae-ji was in the process of job hunting, he quickly accepted the offer without much hesitation. The next day, Dae-ji rode his motorcycle to Kango High School. On the way, he came across a group of students from the school smoking in a public place. Realizing that this behavior was inappropriate, especially for high school students, he intervened, asked them to stop smoking, and warned them about their conduct. The group of students challenged Dae-ji to a fight, but he easily overpowered them thanks to his superior fighting skills. At the school, Dae-ji met with the principal and the other teachers, who warned him about the problematic students. Ms. Yuri, a female teacher, escorted him to the classroom. When he entered, the students ignored him, prompting Dae-ji to slam the desk to get their attention. The students he had previously caught smoking were visibly frightened when they saw him. Dae-ji wrote his name on the board and introduced himself, but the students only laughed at him. He calmly ignored their mockery. After class, a girl named Jean asked her friends how to make quick money, expressing a willingness to do anything for it. Kong and the group of students that Dae-ji had defeated earlier overheard Jean's conversation and approached her. They offered her a job promising a big reward. Despite her friends' warnings, Jian accepted the offer without a second thought. That evening, while Dae-ji was riding his scooter home, he accidentally bumped into Jian. As he was helping her, Kong and his gang secretly recorded the scene, using their mobile phones to try to frame Dae-ji with false accusations of harassment. But soon after, another student appeared, riding a bicycle, and quickly grabbed Kang's mobile phone to delete the video. This person was Nam-hoon, who seemed to command great respect from the troublemaking students, indicating his power and influence at the school. Dae-ji suspected that Nam-hoon was the leader of the delinquent group, but Nam-hoon denied this. The next morning, Nam-hoon was getting ready to go to school with his girlfriend, Yi-rin, a girl full of joy because she had exciting news to share with their classmates. However, from behind, Kang Bi-yoon and their boss, Dae-hyun, silently watched Nam-hoon and Yi-rin with displeased expressions. Meanwhile, Dae-ji tried to learn more about Nam-hoon and asked the teachers about him. Eventually, he discovered that Nam-hoon used to be the gang leader at his former middle school. But since entering high school, especially after he started dating Yi-rin, Nam-hoon had changed a lot. In class, Yi-rin excitedly announced that she had signed a contract with a recording company and was about to debut it as an idol. The entire class was thrilled, including Dae-hyun and his gang, who kept mocking her. Nam-hoon tried to stay calm, adhering to his principle of not fighting. However, when a member of Dae-hyun's groom's group pushed him, he lost control and fought back, whereas Dae-ji stepped in to stop the conflict. When the principal heard the commotion and learned about the incident, he decided to expel Nam-hoon. Dae-ji tried to persuade the principal to give Nam-hoon another chance, believing that it was the troublemakers who had provoked him. Dae-ji even knelt down and begged the principal to reconsider his decision. Seeing Dae-ji's sincerity, the principal agreed to give Nam-hoon one more chance. The teachers, including Ms. Yuri, admired Dae-ji for his genuine concern for his students, even the ones who caused trouble. As Dae-ji and Ms. Yuri were leaving the school together, they noticed Gan being mistreated by her boss at her part-time job. Dae-ji immediately intervened, protecting Gan and confronting the boss, which made Ms. Yuri even more impressed with his bravery. Meanwhile, Dae-hyun and his gang met with a mob boss named Choi, who was accompanied by a group of students from Kango High School. The mob boss didn't want the two gangs sharing power at the school, so he ordered Dae-hyun and Choi to fight to decide who would be the leader and control Kango High School. the winner would become the leader of the student gang and dominate the school. Choi asked Nam-hoon to join his group to help defeat Dae-hyun, but Nam-hoon refused because he didn't want to be involved in meaningless fights anymore. Meanwhile, Dae-gi received a call from an old friend asking for his help because a gang was causing trouble. Dae-gi refused to help, as he had decided to stay out of fights and was now focused on his teaching job at Kango High School. A teacher named Mr. Lee happened to discover that Dae-gi was once the leader of a notorious student gang, which had frightened many students. The next morning, Mr. Lee told the other teachers about Dae-gi's past and accused Nam-hoon of being an accomplice because Dae-gi had protected him from being expelled. Hearing this, Ms. Yuri and the other teachers, who had been friendly with Dae-gi, began to distance themselves from him. Mr. Lee acted out of jealousy over the close relationship between Dae-gi and Ms. Yuri, whom Lee secretly loved. Meanwhile, Choi didn't give up on trying to recruit Nam-hoon into his group. He threatened to release photos of Yi-rin smoking to the recording company she had signed with, which could ruin her career. Not wanting Yi-rin to get into trouble, Nam-hoon was forced to agree to join Choi's group. That night, Dae-gi's father was deeply saddened to hear that his son was still involved in fights. Even though he was now a teacher, Dae-gi explained everything to his father, assuring him that he wasn't fighting but simply trying to help his students. On the day of the showdown between Dae-hyun's gang and Choi's gang to determine who would be the leader of the student gang, they chose a secluded spot under an overpass to avoid being caught. Dae-hyun's gang was surprised to see Nam-hoon with Choi, as he had previously insisted that he didn't want to fight anymore and wanted to focus on his studies. As the fight broke out, the teachers discovered what was happening and quickly rushed to the scene. Dae-gi arrived and demanded that the students stop, but they didn't respect him and attacked. Forced to defend himself, Dae-gi initially managed to hold his ground, but being outnumbered, he gradually became exhausted. He also held back because he didn't want to hurt the students. Just as one of the students was about to strike Dae-gi, Nam-hoon stepped in to help, and together, they fought off the troublemaking students. After Dae-gi and Nam-hoon tried to stop the fight and reconcile the students, the teachers arrived and witnessed Dae-gi advising the students to stop fighting. Despite this, the school still blamed Dae-gi for causing the incident and decided to fire him. When the students, who now respected Dae-gi as a teacher, heard about his dismissal, they were very upset. They all gathered outside to say goodbye as Dae-gi left the school with a heavy heart. Later, Dae-gi visited his father, and this time, his father was proud of him for teaching his students to stay away from violence, even though it cost him his job. The film ends with Dae-gi and his father inspecting the construction of a new school on their land. The moral of the story is that if you were once a gangster turned teacher, you might have to fight off a few thugs and lose your job, but at least you'll earn the respect of a group of rebellious teenagers and the pride of your father.